Tonight, President William Ruto has opened what could turn out to be a clash between the executive and legislature, accusing members of the National Assembly of breeding corruption in demanding bribes from cabinet secretaries and governors. The head of state, while addressing the Devolution conference in the county of Homa Bay, also called out members of the bicameral parliament who he said have turned House committees into money-minting rings instead of exercising oversight responsibilities. Stephen Leto begins our coverage tonight with the following report.
Homa Bay.
President William Ruto says Parliament has turned into a den of graft.
There is something going on in our legislature that we must call out. There is money being demanded from the executive, from governors, from ministers, from people in the executive, especially those who go for accountability before our Houses of Parliament.
President Ruto veered off from his speech pointed directly to unnamed committees of Parliament that he says have turned to extortion rings.
It cannot continue to be business as usual. It is not possible that committees of Parliament demand to be bribed, demand to be paid for them to write reports or to look the other way for what is happening in either the national government or the county government.
The head of state again turned his salvos on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and demanded for a crackdown.
I have made it absolutely clear to the chair of the Anti-Corruption Commission, to the CEO of the Anti-Corruption Commission, that there will be no sacred cows and there will be no telephone call from anywhere below or above to stop anybody from being prosecuted for matters corruption.
The president said after he assented to the Conflict of Interest Bill, all agencies mandated with tackling corruption must step up their efforts and make a wholesome approach in ensuring culprits are brought to book within the shortest time possible. Senate Speaker Emerson Kingi, on his part, defended Parliament, taking on governors accusing them of frustrating oversight by the Senate.
Senate committees have had to encounter hostilities when they visit counties in exercise of the oversight mandate.
We must hold the executive to account. Parliament is not a branch of the executive. We must be bold, whether the experts are our friends or not. We have passed legislation.
President Ruto also decried what he described as the judiciary providing relief for suspects sought for offences such as graft.
Somebody who has stolen public funds and then goes to court and gets something called anticipatory bail makes it impossible for such a person to be arrested and prosecuted.
President Ruto, who had earlier toured several development projects in Homa Bay, said corruption continues to pull back gains made and to erode public confidence.
President William Ruto has put members of Parliament on the spot, accusing them of demanding bribes through different committees from the executive, governors and ministers to write favorable reports and ignore corruption in government. In an all-out tirade in Homa Bay County right here, where he officially opened this year's Devolution conference, the head of state accused members of Parliament of being used to stop the fight against corruption, calling on the National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula, to intervene. Now, the president further called on the judiciary not to be a haven where corrupt individuals run to hide behind judicial decisions.
Corruption has been a thorn in the flesh to the government, and multiple laws have been passed in efforts to fight the vice. Just days after KTN highlighted the rot that had befallen the two houses of Parliament over bribery accusations, where MPs were using committees to solicit money, President William Ruto on Wednesday went ahead to confirm that MPs were being involved in corruption allegations. President Ruto officially opened the 9th edition of the Devolution Conference, where various counties and agencies showcased their work and mandate. It is here that Ruto spoke out strongly, accusing MPs of aiding corruption in House committees.
It cannot continue to be business as usual. It is not possible that committees of Parliament demand to be bribed, demand to be paid for them to write reports or to look the other way for what is happening in either the national government or the county government.
The president has urged the National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula, to take firm action against corruption in Parliament.
All of us must act together. The fight against corruption must be an all-of-society engagement and exercise and effort.
Judiciary has also come under heavy criticism, with President Ruto accusing it of being a haven where corrupt officials run to hide behind judicial decisions.
We have innovation that is only available in Kenya that allows a corrupt person or somebody who has stolen public resources or somebody in breach of law not to be prosecuted. Something called anticipatory bail. It is a Kenyan innovation that takes us backwards.
The president spoke during the 9th Devolution Conference in Homa Bay County, the event coming at a time when President Ruto has turned to the Luo Nyanza region as he seeks to consolidate his base ahead of the 2027 elections. The county leadership attributed the massive development undertaken in the county to the Kenya Kwanza government under President Ruto.
3/4 of the development that we are seeing in Homa Bay County was not here. Your Excellency, at that point in time, there was no broad-based government, there was no partnership. I was an opposition governor. You were the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Past governments have looked at this region, have looked at this county with the cynicism of Nathaniel. And they've always asked, what good can come from Nyanza? What good can come from the people of Homa Bay? And what good can come from the people of Luoland?
Especially to those of us who are coming here for severally. We've seen the hospitality, the warmth of the people of Homa Bay. One waonge wasiwasi. One waonge uchochezi. One waonge midomo mingi. One wachwado mano teach.
On Wednesday, at the State Lodge, President Ruto also assent to the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2025 and the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill 2023 that seeks to give county assemblies greater autonomy over their finances.
Now tonight, members of Parliament and the Judiciary are under fire for abetting the looting of public funds by officials in both the national and county governments. In his address during the Devolution Conference in Homa Bay, President William Ruto accused parliamentary committees of soliciting bribes to produce favorable accountability reports, even in cases of blatant theft. As NTV's Laban Shaban reports, the judiciary has not been spared the head of state's onslaught for granting anticipatory bail to leaders facing corruption allegations.
President William Ruto is on a war path with members of parliament, accusing them of extorting bribes to doctor reports or turn a blind eye to the rot in national and county governments.
There is something going on in our legislature that we must call out. There is money being demanded from the executive, from governors, from ministers, from people in the executive, especially those who go for accountability before our houses of parliament. Mr. Speaker, it cannot continue to be business as usual.
Addressing delegates at the Devolution Conference in Homa Bay, Ruto took the war on graft to the judiciary's doorstep, blasting constitutional provisions he says shield corruption.
Somebody who has stolen public funds and then goes to court and gets something called anticipatory bail makes it impossible for such a person to be arrested and prosecuted endlessly. How does that support the fight against corruption?
Senior government officials, meanwhile, are under intense scrutiny for reportedly manipulating independent bodies like the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to ignore corruption scandals.
I have made it absolutely clear to the chair of the Anti-Corruption Commission, to the CEO of the Anti-Corruption Commission, that there will be no sacred cows and there will be no telephone call from anywhere below or above to stop anybody from being prosecuted for matters corruption.
In the same breath, Homa Bay County Senator Moses Kajwang has slammed the slow rollout of key health laws meant to reform the healthcare system and achieve universal health coverage.
If Duale cannot fix this thing, if Olunga cannot fix this thing, if Dr. Nyikal, chairing the health committee, cannot fix this thing, then we've got a problem somewhere. We must make things work.
The laws include the Primary Health Care Act, the Social Health Insurance Act, the Facility Improvement Financing Act, and the Digital Health Act.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has faulted his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua for repeatedly using foul language to boost his popularity, saying it tarnishes both his own image and that of other leaders locally and internationally. He's speaking at his Irunduni home while hosting women grassroots leaders from Tharaka Nithi County. An evidently concerned Kindiki urged the DCP leader to prioritize policy as a tool in politics rather than insults. He also called on women across the country to play a key role in guiding and nurturing the youth, encouraging them to reject leaders who incite violence and the destruction of public and private property.
Ati mtu anakuja kutukanana hapa. Ati hapa Meru, sijui wapi ati anatukana. Unatukana nani wewe? Wewe unajua sisi ni kina nani? Naona tu wakiongea na wako na kiburi. Mtu akuja ongea mambo yake lakini hakuwe na heshima. Wewe ukuja ongea ukimaliza ukwende. Lakini ukikuja na maneno ya pelepele mingi. Utajua sisi ni kina nani jameni. Mimi nataka sisi wote kama wazazi tujihusishe kuambia vijana wetu, unaweza kuwa na maoni tofauti. Labda haukubaliani na mbunge. Labda haukubaliani na principal wa shule. Labda haukubaliani hata na rais. Lakini sema yale mambo bila kuharibu mali, bila kuharibu biashara.
It's only in African countries where such narratives still play part in politics. You'll hear your politicians saying things like, God is the one who chooses your leaders. Your leaders are chosen by God. Have you ever seen God queuing to go cast a vote? Have you ever? It has never happened and it will never happen. So we need to move away from these barbaric beliefs and start thinking for ourselves.
Where the Kenyan people have reached William Ruto, even if he built gold roads to everybody's single home, to every home he builds gold roads, gold paved roads, he will not reclaim that lost ground. It's gone. That ground has gone. It will never go back to William Ruto. No amount of child donations will change the public perception. William Ruto is trying to fool God. He cannot fool God. God is omnipresent and he can see through this. And he knows his intention even before. It will not work. That is why you saw Kenyans coming out of their numbers to go and demonstrate at that church in Louisiana. And it's because of his handling of the economic situation of the nation.
To those who believe politics doesn't affect them, I hope today has taught you how politics affect you directly.
Ruto simpigi kura. Amenajisi inchi. Bila kutumia hata kondom.
This is Selector Dede.
Wanadhani ya si bongo lala.
ikikupita we bongo lala, na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoza. Ati jikuku mewaka sana, na mabisto na chafua rada, na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoza. Hakuna mboka, peleke shuleni watasoma, madaktari wamegoma, hapa sani Yesu atatuponya. Wambie punde imechoka sana, farasi bado ijapatikana, ni mandai wanagonya na mali wanaponda, unakonda wananona. Maandamano, 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 amise maandamano, maandamano.